Hello, this is not a update video, but it's rather a example video. And, well, it's using quite a lot of components that I don't use that often, so let's take a look. You might have seen some pumpkins here disappear, and, well, these are pumpkin stems, and when we get some pumpkins here, they apparently disappeared. They got put in this chest. We have quite a lot of pumpkins now. And let's see what happens if I put some snowballs there. Alright, things are happening. We have a snow golem. More snow up there. More snow there. And another golem. There we go. Snow. There you go. Alright, so it's taking all the pumpkins from here that it got from the farms, and it's just producing snow, which is actually going in here that it's placing, just creating more and more snow golems like that. So this is not really a snow farm, it's a snow golem farm, which is a bit odd, you could say. Of course, you could convert this to a proper snow farm by spawning them in different locations and so on, or just have one and then use the extra snow for something. But yeah, there you go, a snowman farm, or a snow golem farm. You probably want to know how it works, so let's take a look. To show that easier, I'm going to flip this lever here, and boom, here's the magic there. We can see the snow golems here. So the reason why they don't move is because I have these 4 blocks around them. So these 4 blocks here are the only blocks that actually do have collision. So all the other blocks I have told to have no collision, and normally they are invisible as well. So that actually allows them to do things. We can actually see that they will have a, there you go, they have a block inside, well, around their head, but it's fine because it has no collision like all the other. Right, so let's take a look on the code. And, well, quite a few commands, 25 of them, but I'll just go through them one by one. Right, so if a pumpkin grows, we're using a trigger here, and we use up to detectors, and 40 of them like so. Let's actually clear the filter, there you go, okay, like that. So I have 40 of them, which is basically 40 here. So I have 20 in this line and 20 in that line. So in each of these clusters I have a block detector. So that one is set here, well, all of them there. And what I'm doing is that I require one of them to be, well, on the bottom side. I want a ID 86, which is pumpkin. So basically, if a pumpkin appears, we want to grab pumpkins, and we could define like, alright, we check where the pumpkin is and so on, but it's easy to just say, alright, just try to grab it from well, all the different blockades. So these blockades here are blockades inside these clusters. So I have camouflage, well, transform and camouflage. I need tier 3 there to make them completely invisible. I have blockades and then block detectors, and all of those are used to pick up the pumpkins here. Now we can actually see that we have placed as many as we can, and therefore the snow is starting to grow, fill up there. Right, so that's one part. We just grab the pumpkins and then we put it in one of these chests, which is this one, which is currently empty. Right, okay, so that's the one part. Then we can take a look at the one that picks up the snow, which is this thing here. So what we want to do is, when this block detector here, which is a block detector in that cluster there. So that's why we have one there. It's just facing downwards. You can have it here as well, facing towards them, but you can't have it underneath because then you can't place the snow on this cluster when it becomes invisible. So yeah, you can just have it on the side. It's totally fine. But I have it up there, right? So when that happens, as we're looking for snow there, no, okay, I'm not looking for snow. We could look for snow. There you go, 78. The reason why I need this tick as well is because, well, they are replacing the snow so quickly that sometimes the update isn't really working properly. Like they update and then there's snow there already, and things become a bit weird. So that's why I have both this thing for quick access and this for security. So as soon as there's snow there, pick it up. But otherwise also pick up once a second. So you can actually see that sometimes it's getting destroyed right away, but it's also just removing it once a second. You could set it up to pick it up faster than this actually, but yeah, in a simple way like that. Okay, so what it does is simply, let's see, let's check the selected one. So we have this blockade selected, which is the one in the cluster there, which is exactly where the snow golems do have their heads. And what we whitelist is snowballs. I know I'm on here. And the reason why I whitelist snowballs well, instead of snow, is because, well, when you pick up snow, you get snowballs. So that's what we have to tell the blockade to pick up, which is exactly what it's doing. Right, okay, so that's just picking it up, putting it in this chest, and we're soon getting a full chest here. So obviously if you wanted to have this as a snow farm, then you would, well, put it somewhere else when it's full. Now it's, well, it won't pick anything up because there's no where to put it. Right, and then what we want to do here, we want to place the snow, the blocks of snow, and here's one a small problem. And the problem is, when you break snow blocks, you don't get anything at all. And the problem with that is that we can't really tell the blockade, right, place one block of snow. Because we don't want it to place multiple blocks of snow in the same spot. If we would, well, then it would just split them out, and we don't want that. So we can't really just tell it whitelist one snow block, because it would just continuously place them due to the fact that it can't detect them since they want to drop themselves when we destroy them. So what I'm doing instead is having two different triggers here, which have one block detector each, which are block detectors in these two clusters here. So they are facing the snow, and well, they're not facing the snow, but I've told it to just work on the north side, which makes them face the snow. And then we look for 80, which is a snow block, like that. And I'm not using the update one, I'm using the while low signal. So once each second you could increase this without a problem. But each second it's going to check, is there a piece of snow in that specific spot? If there isn't, then we start this chain here. And what I want to do is store the gate. And what that is basically pick the blockade and store it in snow output. So basically, when I do the check for this one, and if there's no snow block here, store the gate inside this one. So in this we also have a camouflage, well, a transforming camouflage, a block gate, and a block detector. The same thing that we do have in these over there. And they're going to just sort of pumpkin, and therefore it spawn another one. Right. So basically, what these two is doing is checking for one spot each, and when they detect that there is no snow there, they tell their respective blockade to try to get some snow. So basically that's what we do there. Go into flow here, and what we do now is we tell this chest with the snow in it to just grab whatever you have there. So if we actually have some snow there directly, maybe you added it there, it's going to use that right away. Otherwise, we're going to use this crafter here. So what I'm going to do is just tell it to craft snow there, and well, if for some reason this is not going to be used, but I set it to the same chest again. So due to the fact that this crafting recipe only produces one snow at a time and it's not using any buckets or whatever, that excess one will never be used. But you can just fill it for well, good measure. Right, and the final thing is quite simple. He just selects the snow output here and places some snow here. But well, one important thing is to just place one snow, because otherwise it's going to craft as much snow as it wants here. And the reason why you can actually tell it to whitelist one snow here is because we know that there's nothing here, so we know that we want at least one snow. And when we put one snow into the blockade, it's not being placed right away, it's being placed as soon as possible, which is the upcoming tick, which means that it's still going to be inside a blockade, and since we haven't placed it, it's going to count as one piece of snow. So that's a trick I'm using there. It's not really essential to this build. What you could do is just tell it to whitelist 4 pieces of snow instead, because that would only be enough for crafting one block of snow. But you still would have to have the whitelist of snow here, but then you wouldn't get that thing that you had to specify one. But that totally works like that. So basically this will refill the snow, but what we'll have to make sure as well is that the pumpkin is put there last. You probably remember in the beginning we had quite a lot of pumpkins because, well, the farm had been going, but we had no snow, which meant that, well, if we just placed the pumpkin right away, then it would be placed up in the air here, and then when we added the snow, nothing would happen, because you need to put the pumpkin there last to actually spawn a snow golem. So what I'm doing there is doing this double snow check. So what I have is selected the 2 blockades for the snow, and then I'm doing like I did before, that I'm looking for 80, which is snow, and I'm just looking on the north side. Well, it doesn't matter actually, but just the north side, and then let's see here. So then I require all the targets. So both of them has to have snow, And if that's the case, then I do this. So I'd not high pulse. I want to continuously check this, because if we don't have any pumpkins, like now, we don't want it to break just because we didn't have any pumpkins when we were ready to place it. So now we're going to check once a second, or if you want, you can set that to a lower delay. And sorry. We just grab pumpkins from the chest there. We grab everything there, and then we just whitelist one here to make sure that it won't place multiple ones at the same time. But of course, as soon as the it could place multiple ones if it had it already. If it placed one, it can't obviously place one right away, right after it, because we don't have any snow anymore. So that's basically it. So as you can see, it just continues spawning these snow golems. I'm not entirely sure what to have all of them for, but of course you can see that you can make a snow farm of this. And then in the corner over here, we just have the camouflage part. So basically, which one is which? Yeah, remove all the vision by setting all the bounce here to 0 and no collision lag. So. And then when we pull it in the other direction, we set it to 0 to 32 in all of them, like that. And still no collision, because we don't want the snowman to suffocate. But then we need to have these two, which is doing the same thing actually with the bounce. So we have 0 to 0 there, and here we have 0 to 32, like so. But the only difference here is that we have collision. And the good thing about that, the reason why that's the case is because these four should always keep their collision, no matter what. And then if you make everything invisible, you basically have this thing here. You have a farm here, and if something grows, it's getting removed, and it's placing one. And since we have snow, those are being placed again. And as we can see, if I would kill these, it's getting a bit messy when you do, because they are all of a sudden they are moving, and since there are so many snow golems inside each other, they will simply push each other out. There are a lot of snow golems now. There you go. So a bit of a mess here with snow. Let's remove these. Just to show the thing that you could have seen in the beginning. So you can go away as well. There you go. So as you can see, I can access everything totally fine, just because, there are no things in the way, apart from these blocks here, the collision. But I can still punch through them, just because they are completely invisible like that. Okay. So there we go. Now we have no snow. This is exactly what we saw in the beginning. Add some pumpkins there. Nothing is going to happen, because if we would have placed it right away, basically it would have ruined the machine, because all of a sudden we had a pumpkin there, and then when we added snow later, nothing would happen. So now if I add 8 of them there, it's going to craft it to 2 snow blocks, add the pumpkin on top, it's going to generate more snow, and then it's going to place the snow when it can. There you go, 2 pieces of snow, and then it spawns another one, and it just continues like that. So that's pretty much it. The special parts here, the things I referred to in the beginning, was of course all the block detectors. Like most of these triggers are using the block detectors, and this is using it in a bit clever way to check for both blocks there. Yeah, so that's it. Good luck.